Shana Tova. I'm Yoon, and we feel blessed to be here today in this community that helps sustain us, especially this past year and a half. And special shout out to Hillel for those early Shabbat Unplugged live streams too. Sheva and I were the first in our families to marry outside of our faith and race. And we wanted to raise our children to feel a sense of pride and belonging as both Koreans and Jews. But what would that look like? In what congregation would we find a home? I could get with the rituals, the friendship, the food, but the organized part of religion was tough for me. I was raised in a Korean Presbyterian home, the child of church elders, Bible study, choir, the whole shebang. I loved how my family's church community showed up for one another, but otherwise, my experience of religion was based in fear, obedience, and dogma. I didn't feel I was really seen or listened to. When we came to Ikar, I felt the familiar warmth of a genuine community and was moved by the music and passion for justice. But I was hesitant. I felt like an outsider, singing in a language I didn't understand. I was aghast that people would get up in the middle of services to just schmooze or get coffee, which I've since learned are holy activities.
I tried to tell him. I'm Sheva. I had my own reasons for feeling uncomfortable. My experience of Judaism was so fractured, even though also rich, full of rich traditions. My mother's Italian family was Orthodox, and we could never get it right for them. My father's family were atheists, intellectuals dedicated to social justice, but down on organized religion. And my home reflected that divide. How could a family so broken belong to, don't touch, I'm gonna cry again, belong to any real community? And now, as a mixed family, it was all too easy to feel different, not a part of. And for years, we stuck to the margins. On Flora's first Shabbat of Limudim, Rabbi Braus invited all the new families up for an aliyah. Tracy Kalite extended her talit around me and whispered, "Look around, we'll all be raising our kids together." I see now she was right. Here we go. We found in Ikar a place for our children to grow. They'll tell you in a moment, but I want you to know we found a place for us too.
Ikar stretched us, invited us to bring our whole selves, our joys, our families, our brokenness, and challenged us to open our hearts, really connect to this community, and take action in the world.
Hi, I'm Flora, and I'm 14. I loved Limudim right away. I remember being so excited when I was finally old enough to go twice a week. I would save my favorite green button-up so I could wear it every single week and impress my classmates with my amazing style. One day in class, Rabbi Kayla asked us to share the countries that our families were from. I realized that I was the only person in our class with family from outside of Europe. I was the only person of color in our grade. And that made me feel really isolated. Although we'd been learning so much about diversity, social justice, and racism all this time, I wasn't seeing that diversity reflected in our membership. As I prepared for my bat mitzvah, I got so much support from our Ikar community to connect my Korean and Jewish sides, literally. Wendy Light sewed my Korean Jewish talit, and I got to show my grandfather my harabuji, one of his favorite passages in the Torah scroll. And I found in the Torah a way to give voice to the identity struggle I was having, thanks to the guidance of our incredible rabbis. It's especially powerful to have such strong women in leadership at Ikar. I mean, seriously, how do you give such good sermons and then also be able to sing and harmonize and also not have to repeat every single Saturday? You're my role models. More and more, I find myself using what I learned at Ikar in other communities I'm a part of. Last spring, my school district dropped Yom Kippur from the school calendar to make a 4-day weekend. I was enraged. So I channeled my Ikar vibes and gave a speech at the school board meeting, and they ultimately reversed their decision. I got to see that if you say something and you care so deeply, change can happen. Change will happen. Ikar shows me that.
Hi, I'm Talia and I'm 12. I've always felt a part of the Ikar community. I especially love Ne'ilah with its glow lights and amazing music. When I was little, I'd always get lost during the light parade, but I wasn't scared because I knew that in this sea of people, someone would help me. And Limudim was a place where I was encouraged to share my opinion and engage in serious discussions, and where I made many close friends. So going to Jewish camp was a no-brainer. I love making friends, having Shabbat, and deep discussions, just like at Ikar. But the summer of 2020, I became frustrated with our camp's conversations about race. I realized I needed to be around more Jews of different ethnic backgrounds. Ikar has taught me to not just be silent and hope or wait for change. So we found a multiracial Jewish camp called B'chol Lashon, where I went this summer. Although it was only a week, I left camp feeling like I had known these people forever. We connected as Jewish kids of color, and also as kids who have been locked at home with their parents for a year. And I'm excited to bring that experience back to Ikar, where I see over and over that my experience and opinion matter. Earlier this year, my sister and I were invited to join Ikar's Racial Justice and Inclusion Committee. A part of me was like, oh my God, they want me, an 11-year-old, to help make decisions for the community. And the other part of me was like, yeah, because this is Ikar, where they listen to you and they want you to speak up.
When a mass shooting killed 6 Asian Americans in Atlanta in March, our rabbis were the first ones, non-Asians, to call us that morning and ask how we were doing and what response would make sense as a community. I cannot express how much that meant to us, especially as our daughters doing Zoom school in the other room are feeling so much grief and outrage and invisibility. And we're having to choose between enduring or calling out their teachers' silence about the events.
Ikar let us know we were seen, cared for, and listened to.
Like we have a place at the table.
And it's a really big table.
Ikar stretches us as people to be part of this community.
To use our voices.
To speak up even when it's hard.
And Ikar even allows us to stretch Ikar.
That's why we're here. And that's why we give. We stretch our wallets. And we hope you will too. Please, please join us.